Hey guys, Desolator Magic here, and I'm not thrilled about this video. I'm not proud of it. I don't even stand behind it, to be perfectly honest. Don't build this deck unless you have to. Like this is a war crime, okay? If you need to do this to your LGS, then you need to do this, okay? Like, I don't live your life, but don't do this just because it wins, okay? This is not a polite deck. This is a result of 8 sets being legal. Okay, I should have called this the 8 sets legal deck. Apparently I called it blue draw control, but I'm sure I'll think of something creative by the time I upload this. So let's break it down, because I built this in Arena. I'm not even gonna replicate an X-Mage. I called it the troll deck on stream. Miscloaked Herald. You might actually win in 20 swings. That's why this is in here. Also, I did have Curious Obsession, but I pulled it because of the creature count, which is actually really low. But it's just unblockable, straight up. See, we got Opt. Oh, it is an emergency blocker too. We got 4 Opt. Of course, I had to split the sets because I don't have 4, and I'm not gonna burn a wild card to make the artwork match. But yeah, that just shrinks the deck. It accelerates land if you need it. It gets land out of your way if you don't need it. And also, you're playing with 56 cards basically. So really nice. Next up, Brawl. He's just in there to make stuff cheaper. He doesn't even have to be in there. I think he's like $8, so feel free to not. Then we got Ice Over. Probably should put it in there instead of Brawl, honestly. Enchant artifact or creature, and then it doesn't untap during its next untap step, but it doesn't immediately tap it. It's just dirt cheap. Once they've already swung at you once, you pin it down. Lot of shortcomings to that card, but it's basically a blue removal spell that costs 2. So, you know. Then we got Negate, obviously, because you're going to worry about counter spells in this deck. I only put 3 in for some reason. I don't know what's going on there. And then Consulate Skygate, Defender, and Reach 04. That just stops the game right there. Gleaming Barrier, same thing. It's a 0/4 without Reach, but when it dies, you get a treasure. So that's huge. If you let something onto the battlefield big enough to kill this, then you probably need a treasure. So then we got As Foretold. I would put 4 of them in here if I had them, but it's not worth the mythic wild card, even though I have a mythic wild card right now. Then we got Cancel. I don't remember why. There's probably something better. Oh, yeah, there is. I should scroll down. We got Disallow, because duh. And then Stealer of Secrets. When this one hits, you draw a card. So that was, honestly, I should probably pull Mistcloaked and just put in 4 of these, now that I don't have Curious where to go. There we go. So, fix that. There's not going to be a deck list in the description. You're just going to have to deal with it if you want to build this. Supreme Will, love this. Probably should be in here instead of Cancel, but then again, it only makes them pay 3 more. They might actually have that, unfortunately, because this drags the game out a bit. Then there's Tempest Djinn. There should be 4 of these. I mean, I'll tell you right now, there should be 4 of these. I think you get like 2 or 3 for free though with a couple decks on Arena. So yeah, this is the game winner right here. Okay, so this is a duck and cover deck, and it's a play on words. This is the duck. A duck and cover deck is a whole bunch of stall, removal, pin down, whatever, counter spells, just prevent, control, everything. And then the duck is a large flying creature. Get it? So you want to hit them in the air for like 4, 5, 6, 7, something like that. So Sphinx of Magosi, Glyph Keeper, some angel, that's your duck. And then the cover is all the stuff that covers it. So between Cancel, Disallow, everything else I've got in this deck, you can control this guy, and the entire deck is islands. It's 23 islands. So if you thought Goblin Chain Whirler and honestly Plague Mare and Steel Leaf were broken, remember, this is in the same card cycle. This is one of them. In fact, I think I just named all of them, actually. Oh, Benalish Marshall. So yeah, this guy's a flyer that'll hit for like 10. I mean, he's insane. Then Insidious Will, there should be 4 of these in here. I'll tell you that right now, there should be 4. Because you can counter a spell, you can redirect a spell, or you can clone a spell. You'll pretty much never clone a spell. But yeah, that redirection, especially against mono red, it's hilarious. I just redirected somebody's lava axe directly into their face. That was funny. It's not a good use of a rare wild card, honestly. It's not that good. It's the best counter spell in Magic right now, or in Standard. Not in Magic. Good lord, that would be counterspell. But next up we got Glyph Keeper. This is basically Tempest Djinn, but it costs 5. So the first time it becomes a target of a spell or ability, counter it. I literally just got done with a game where somebody cast Ixalan's Binding, targeted Glyph Keeper, had the targeting fail. It says counter spell or ability. So basically the ability, the triggered ability when it enters the battlefield failed, and then he forfeited. Also, it has Embalm 7, so they have to kill it twice. So it takes 4 spells to take this thing down. Yeah. Next up, another win condition. So we got Tempest, Glyph, and Metallurgic. That's pretty much it, unless you kill them with Stealer of Secrets. I don't know. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, create an XX colorless construct artifact creature token, where X is that spell's converted mana cost, and that second part, that activated ability, will never happen. Not in this deck. It is virtually impossible, so just ignore it. So you cast a Disallow, you get a 3/3 robot. You cast a whatever, doesn't matter. As long as it's a instant or sorcery, boom, you get a robot. And you can just robot flood them because you're still shutting them down. So it's pretty nice. I got 3 of them in here. Then we got Cryptic Serpent, another game winner. I would maybe put another one in. I mean, it's a 7 cost, but it isn't. It's basically a 2 cost 6/5. So it costs 1 less to cast for each instant and sorcery card in your graveyard. One of the most underappreciated cards in Standard right now, for sure. But nobody's playing blue Spell Dump. Although, people are playing Enigma Drake decks without this card. What the hell is wrong with people? I'm deeply confused by that. Do they not want a 6/5 for 2? Because I would. Maybe it's the double blue. I don't know. But then we got 23 Islands. That's it. So yeah, this thing, it's not flying, but it's a 6/5. Who cares? Swing away. If something's in your way, just wait for them to swing once. Like, leave this in your hand on purpose and then pin it down or whatever. Bounce back to hand would be nice, but I wanted a recurring ability. Recurring bounce back to hand, and I didn't have it. Also, there's probably a Planeswalker that would go on this. I know Jace wouldn't really fit, wouldn't really make sense, but like Dovin Bond would, but there's no white, so I don't know. Who else is blue? I can't think of anything else. I don't think there is another blue Planeswalker. Oh well. Yeah, this is pretty much it. You counter everything and hit them with stuff. It's a duck and cover deck. What do you expect? The funny thing is, my win ratio with this deck is disgusting. I'm ashamed of it. It sickens me to even think of the fact that I built this deck. But then again, I am originally a mono blue player. That's what I played for like the first 3 months that I played Magic. That and white mix. I am originally a control player. I've since then reformed to more sophisticated tastes. Like more complex decks with some ramping and some creatures. But just looking at when I first started playing all of the net decks and all the overpowered shit that Wizards left in the game, I'm like, I have to stop this. I am not going to build a better deck than what people are attacking me with. I need to stop what they're doing and then just win with some bombs or something, or some recursion or some ramp or a recurring trigger, something. That's how I was winning games back then. So right now, I'm the one building the really broken decks, the horribly overpowered stuff that can go toe-to-toe with Tier 1. But this is an old school throwback right here. So the funny thing is, you could build this with anything. Like, you don't have to run Ice Over. I think Claustrophobia is maybe still legal. That Corrosion one or whatever, I don't remember. They probably all cycled out. I don't know. But there's all kinds of pin down. You could do bounce back to hand and go heavier on the counter spells. You can run Essence Scatter if you really wanted. You could turn this into an improvised deck, which is how it actually started. You could cut As Foretold and put in another, I don't know, put in Miscloaked and then Curiosity, and then more unblockables, make it an unblockable deck. So there's no duck, there's just obnoxious mosquitoes. It's very flexible. Like, you don't need a Baral. You don't really need anything in this deck except for like Tempest, Glyph, and Metallurgic and Cryptic. That's pretty much the win conditions right there. So it's just a fun deck, and I put it together with just spare cards basically. So if you're playing Arena, if you've unlocked a couple of the full decks, you can probably basically build this. So feel free. I wouldn't say that this necessarily beats Red Rush. It kind of doesn't unless you go first. And run Essence Scatter or River's Rebuke, which this deck doesn't have a ramp method, so I wouldn't recommend it. Well, opt. But I am going to upload a better deck. It's actually blue-white, but it's totally not what you're thinking. It is the cure for redness. I might call it Visine. It is like God, that was an old reference. It is exactly what you need to beat Red Rush, and it's a reasonable enough deck that you could run it against anything else and still have a pretty good chance of winning. So let me know what you think of this deck, and if it's like, I love it and I'm going to build it, you know, maybe rethink that, maybe don't. But if you're like, I have to build this, that's where we're at right now, then, you know, feel free. So I'll see you guys next video.